Yes, yes, yes. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cyber Safety Net Stay Safe Online, episode 104. Which RAID do you want? My name is Anthony Germanos, and I will be the presenter today. Now, let me ask you, which RAID do you want? 10 seconds. Remember, we're talking about computers here. Yes, the correct answer is the RAID that involves multiple drives. And when these are put together, we call them RAID or redundant array of independent disks. And it basically means that you have multiple drives that work together to look like one drive to the operating system. There are three kinds I'm talking about today that work within Windows. There's RAID 0 or striping, there's RAID 1, which is mirroring, and RAID 5, which is striping with parity. Let's talk about RAID 1 first. Oh, look, a commercial. Today's presentation is brought to you by How Hacks Happen, my fourth book. In How Hacks Happen, there are two author personas. There's me, Mark, the good guy who wants to protect you. And there's Brad Cracker, the bad guy who wants to rip you off. He's a hacker. He's good at it, it's easy, and he likes the easy money. Now, back to the show. Today we're talking RAID 0. Well, not yet. Back in episode 102, I presented the CIA triad, CIA or confidentiality, integrity, availability. And protecting the confidentiality, integrity, availability of your data is why computer guys like me are employed. Since we're talking about drives, I think it's fair to say this would fall under the availability category. Because you want to keep your data available even when one of these fails. Now we can talk about RAID 0, which is the first RAID I'm talking about today. RAID 0 is striping, and this occurs when we have two or more physical disks that are put together to appear as one physical disk to the operating system. The benefit is that we combine all the storage. If this has a 1 terabyte capacity and this has a 1 terabyte capacity, and we put them together in RAID 0 strapping, then the operating system sees 2 terabyte storage capacity. The downside is there's no redundancy. With RAID 0 strapping, if one of these dies, you replace it, then you restore your data from backups. And you better pray that your backups are working. I've seen a lot. This is why I'm not a fan of RAID 0 striping. Instead, I like RAID 1 mirroring. In RAID 1 mirroring, we get redundancy because we have two or more physical disks. If one dies, the other one keeps the data available and keeps the server up and running. Yes, you'll go to the server, you'll see a flashing orange light on the front, and it'll probably emit a warning tone, high, screeching, annoying. But people can still do their work and still access the data on the server. Then you, as a network admin, slap in another drive, and the data from here replicates to here, the new drive. I choose redundancy over extra storage capacity. Now, the downside with RAID 1 is that you don't pool the storage. Instead, you have 1 terabyte storage here, 1 terabyte storage here. The operating system will see 1 terabyte storage. It's a yes on redundancy, no on that pooling your storage capacity. Let's continue on and talk about my favorite, RAID 5, strapping with parity. And this works when you have 3 or more disks minimum. And that's because you have 3 disks. The first disk has parity information for the other 2. The second disk has parity information for the first and the third. And of course, the third disk has parity information for 1 and 2. If one of your disks dies altogether, maybe the third one dies, you slap in a new third disk, and then parity information from 1 and 2 replicate to the third disk. The data becomes available, or I should say, the data remains available to everybody accessing the server, and the server is up and running. Yes, you'll get a flashing orange light on the front, and yes, you will get that loud, annoying warning tone. But if you got to fill a drive, maybe the warning tone is a good thing. Let's look at this graphic, and I was rather proud that I found this graphic online. With disk 1, or here they call it drive 1, you have data that is native to drive 1 in block 1A, block 1B, and block 1C. Then you have parity data. This parity data is actually parity data from drive 2, drive 3, and drive 4. So if one of those other drives fails, then you slap in a new drive. Maybe it's drive 3, and then parity information from drive 1, drive 2, and drive 4 replicate back to drive 3 to get the drive back up and running, and more importantly, stop that loud screeching noise on the server from happening. You need 3 disks or more to make RAID5 strapping with parity to work. But I still think it's worth it. All my proposals for the last 10 years last 5 years, have recommended RAID5 strapping with parity because of the redundancy. I will take redundancy over added capacity like in RAID 0 any day. RAID 0, RAID 1, RAID 5, it's a managerial decision. And that means you get to decide, do you want to pay extra for 3 or more disks? The benefit is you get more redundancy. The downside is you're buying more hardware. You know what? We are done. I know there are other things you could have been doing. I know your time is valuable, but you chose to listen to me talk about disk strapping and redundancy. And for that, I thank you. Mark Anthony Germanos. Have a good day, everybody.